What a breaking news! In what has become a humiliating moment for the British monarchy, King Charles III is being publicly urged, no, begged, to make peace with Prince Harry and Meghan Sussex. And not because he has suddenly grown a conscience or a heart, but because the public, the media, and even his own image handlers know he has failed, miserably. This is not a plea for family unity, it is a reckoning. King Charles, cloaked in self-importance and royal entitlement, has proven time and again that he is more interested in polishing his tarnished crown than extending a hand to his own son. His refusal to reconcile is not just cold, it is cowardly. Meanwhile, Prince Harry has shown nothing but grace, strength, and emotional maturity in the face of a father who seems more preoccupied with royal protocol than paternal love. For years, the world watched as Charles sat silently while Harry and Meghan were eviscerated by the British press. Not once did he defend them. Not once did he stand up and say, "Enough." Instead, he fed the institution, sacrificed his son's dignity for a few favourable headlines, and buried his conscience under layers of tradition. Harry, on the other hand, walked away from the toxicity, not out of rebellion, but out of necessity, for the sake of his wife, his children, and his mental health. And now, the very same media that once demonized the Sussexes is changing its tune. Not because Charles has changed, but because Harry and Meghan's absence is costing them. Literally. The royal family without Harry and Meghan is dull, out of touch, and increasingly irrelevant. Charles's court of sycophants is a poor substitute for the electrifying global appeal of the Sussexes. The press needs them, the monarchy needs them, but King Charles, he's still sulking like a monarch scorned. In every move Harry makes, there is dignity. He has extended olive branches, he has offered private peace, he has remained respectful, even when utterly disrespected. Charles, in contrast, clings to grudges, drapes himself in the illusion of royal infallibility, and has the emotional depth of a teaspoon. His actions aren't regal, they're regressive. While Harry builds bridges, Charles burns them. While Harry raises his children with compassion and humility, Charles continues to ignore his own grandchildren. Archie and Lilibet, innocent children, have been reduced to tabloid talking points because their grandfather can't summon the decency to pick up a phone. What kind of monarch abandons his own blood for optics? The public sees it. They're no longer fooled by Charles's forced smiles or his carefully staged appearances. The whispers inside the palace are growing louder. The king is failing, not just as a ruler, but as a father. His legacy is crumbling because of his own bitterness. Harry, however, stands tall, admired globally for choosing love over tradition, truth over silence. There's a reason Harry is beloved by millions. He has walked through fire and emerged stronger, wiser, more human. Charles, by contrast, hides behind palaces and privilege, desperate to protect an image that's already shattered. Even now, with the world practically shouting at him to make amends, Charles stays perched on his high horse, immune to reason, deaf to compassion. And let's be honest, the reason the media wants the Sussexes back is because Charles simply can't carry the crown. He lacks the charm, the vision, the connection. Harry was the monarchy's future, a future Charles arrogantly discarded. And now, that short-sightedness is costing him dearly. While Harry engages with real people, champions causes and raises his children with purpose, Charles remains trapped in his ivory tower, obsessed with titles and ceremonies. He is the monarch of missed opportunities, the father who turned his back on love. This is not a king we should admire. This is a man who has weaponized silence, prioritized pride, and let his family fracture in the name of tradition. Charles does not deserve sympathy. He deserves scrutiny. Harry, however, deserves every ounce of praise. He has shown us what strength, integrity, and unconditional love look like. The world is watching. And it's not Charles they're clapping for. It's Harry, the son who had every reason to walk away and still tries to forgive. The prince who became a man, despite having a king for a father. Charles, get off your high horse. You are not the victim here. You are the architect of your own disgrace. And the time to change that, it's slipping through your fingers, one silent day at a time. And so, as the world turns its attention back to Britain, what do we see? A monarchy clinging to outdated rituals, desperate headlines begging for the return of the very people they once vilified, and at the centre of it all, a king too proud to dial a phone number. What kind of legacy is that? One defined not by compassion or strength, but by silence, stubbornness, and vanity. Charles may wear the crown, but it is Prince Harry who carries the heart of a true leader. Where Charles shuts doors, Harry opens them. Where Charles buries emotion under layers of pomp and pretension, Harry speaks truth, fights for justice, and protects his family with a quiet fierceness that continues to inspire millions. The British people are waking up. They see through the sterile photo ops, the lifeless engagements, the desperate attempts to make Camilla relevant. They see a royal institution more obsessed with image than authenticity, clinging to tradition while alienating the very family members who could have brought it into the modern age. The Sussexes represented progress, hope, and change, everything the monarchy claimed it wanted, yet everything King Charles ultimately rejected. This is no longer about family disagreements. This is about history, about the moral failure of a king who could not rise to the moment. A man who, despite all his education, travels, and decades of preparation, could not find the courage to say, "I'm sorry," who could not utter the words every father should say, "Come home, you are loved." There is no honour in silence, no wisdom in waiting. Time is not on Charles's side. The longer he delays reconciliation, the deeper the chasm becomes. And when the history books are written, and they will be, they won't remember Charles for his royal decrees or meaningless titles. They will remember him as the monarch who chose pride over paternity, who let bitterness steal decades from his family, who stood at the gates of Buckingham Palace not as a unifying figure, but as a symbol of everything the modern world is leaving behind. Prince Harry, meanwhile, will be remembered as the son who rose above the cruelty, the racism, the betrayal, and still found it within himself to offer peace. He will be remembered for the courage to leave, the bravery to speak, and the heart to forgive. He embodies the best of what the monarchy could have been: honest, principled, human. And so, the question remains, will Charles continue to play the tragic king in his own self-made Shakespearean drama? Or will he finally step out of the shadow of his ego and into the light of redemption? Because Britain is watching, the world is watching, and Prince Harry is not the one who should be ashamed. The clock is ticking, Charles, and no crown can protect you from the truth. King Charles is being dragged by the British public and press for failing as both a father and a leader. While Prince Harry stands tall with dignity and compassion, Charles clings to pride, silence, and outdated tradition. The world sees through the crown's illusion. It's Harry, not Charles, who embodies true royalty. The monarchy is crumbling under Charles's ego, and history won't be kind. The time to fix this? Slipping fast. To all my curious Sussex family, thank you all for watching, and do not forget to subscribe, like, and put a comment. Let me in the comments section. Bye-bye. See you in our next episode then.